Welcome to another episode of the Family Discipleship Podcast. I'm your host, Christian Horstman, and my prayer for you is that the Lord would be pleased to bless this show and use it to provide you as a Christian parent with gospel-centered, grace-driven ideas and encouragement for shepherding your children's hearts and cultivating your family's relationships with Jesus and with each other. All right, welcome back to this episode of the Family Discipleship Podcast. And today I am super pleased to welcome Kevin Sorbo to the show. Kevin, really, I don't think you need much of an introduction. I think most people listening to this are going to know who you are and what you're all about. But it's just a real treat, real pleasure to have you with us today. And so welcome.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So today I just wanted to kind of talk with you, about something that's really important issue, I think, in today's society, especially, but just the challenges of being a Christian father in a culture that's, just more and more going away from that, biblical model of manhood and fatherhood. So just want to, talk about that a little bit today and, kind of encourage the fathers listening to our show today to lead their families with strength and courage and godliness. So let's go for it.
Well, it's just, it is so strange of where we're at right now. I mean, it is bizarre to me to think that we're at this place right now where if you're a Christian, it's like, I've been in Hollywood for many, many years. I don't live there anymore. I live in the free state of Florida. I escaped California almost 6 years ago. But to look at the attacks on Christianity now, when this country was founded in Judeo-Christian values, our laws came from the Bible. Our Constitution came from God-fearing men. It's just it's so weird now that being in Hollywood and this is meant as a joke, but there's a lot of truth to it. It used to be the gay population was in the closet. Christians now in the closet in Hollywood. They're afraid to come out. I actually got booted out of Hollywood about 10, 11 years ago. I'm the first cancel culture victim as far as I know, because my manager and agent of many decades said they couldn't work with me anymore because of my faith and the things I've been posting and conservative and all that. And I went, you've known that my whole life I've been that way. I've never hidden from the fact that I'm a Christian and conservative. I don't wear it on my sleeve, but if somebody asks me, I don't hide from it either. And they said, well, the change are here in Hollywood and it's hard to get you a job. And I just laughed at that. And I said, this is ridiculous. So my wife and I formed Sorbo Studios. Go to sorbostudios.com. We're doing our own thing. And I'm happy and proud of the work that we're doing. But it's weird to me that, we protect a religion, so-called religion like Muslims. And if you say anything bad about that religion, boy, do you get attacked. But you can bash Christians all you want. And any movie, any TV show, if there's a clergyman in there, if there's a conservative in there, they're either the evil ones or they're the bumbling idiots. They've just been doing this for decades. And I'm telling all the men out there right now, stop being afraid. Stop letting fear rule your life.
Right. Yeah. So maybe talk to us a little bit about, what scriptural passages or, biblical principles have been kind of, most influential in shaping your perspective on, manhood and fatherhood and, maybe how you've applied those in your life personally.
Well, it's in the 10 Commandments, right? Honor thy father and mother. It happens to be there as well. But there is a couple, and I had to write them down because I could say them, but I know I probably missed 2 or 3 words in them. But one's from Proverbs 17, verse 6. It's children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. And, we have a father that's a father to all of us, that wants the best for all of us. And, he just must be shaking his head looking down into this world right now and the insanity of it. When insanity of what's coming out of our government, what's coming out of Los Angeles through movies and through television. I'm going to go back to even sitcoms. You can go back into the 70s. And ever since then, sitcoms portray fathers as idiots. They're usually the chunky, out of shape, mom's a babe, right? The teenage kids use dad as a pincushion to make fun of them. So we constantly reinforce the fact that fathers aren't important to the family. And look what I've done to the Black community. I mean, the 1964, the Civil Rights, the Welfare Reform Acts. We took a segment of our population that was actually the least amount of divorce rate was in the Black family, now to the most. 80% or more of kids in the Black community were raised without a father, because our government, thank you, LBJ, passed that Welfare Reform Act saying, if you're a single Black woman, we'll take care of you. So now we set 3 generations of having women by the time they're 30 years old, got 5 kids from 5 different guys. I mean, every time you watch a sporting event, college, it's always just the mother in the audience, right? It's always just,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember LeBron James talking about us. You know, his father showed up once that became sort of famous. And it's like, dude, you're not my dad. You're never here. And this is going on over and over again, not just in the athletic world, but you see what's playing out in the streets of Los Angeles and in Baltimore and New York and of course Chicago. How many shootings every single week?
Oh yeah.
It's incredible what we've done. It's incredible, and shame
Yeah.
on our government.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree. So maybe talk to us a little bit, yeah, we kind of see the anti-biblical model of fatherhood and manhood. So tell us a little bit about, what does the biblical model of fatherhood entail? Servant leadership, true sacrificial
Yeah,
love. Tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
you just said it. Be a strong pillar.
Yeah.
Be a strong pillar
Yeah.
not only with the family. Be a strong husband. Be a strong father. Be a strong person in your community. Do you think like guys like George Soros, who have billions of dollars, are throwing at all these liberal and progressive policies that help destroy America, turning us into a communist country? Do you think that
Mhm.
stuff? He doesn't care about the main elections. Guys like Soros, it's that underground, it's that small community, those councilmen, those mayors, and working their way up to the governors. That's where they want to get a hold of America, and that's why I'm getting a hold of America. Play on our school boards. Look at our school boards; they're pathetic. I think one of the blessings of COVID is that 2 million more families are now homeschooling. We're
Yeah.
homeschoolers. My wife's a
Yes.
homeschool app,
Yeah.
travels the country. You can see all of
Right.
her stuff, Sorbo Studios as well. But
Right.
this is the bash and the nonstop attack is our public education system absolutely sucks. There's no other better way to
Yeah.
describe it. Bill
Yeah.
Maher came out 2 months ago and said, do not send your kids to American universities. That's Bill Maher. So, there's just, it's crazy what we're doing in the world right now. It's absolutely crazy. And kids are getting degrees that are absolutely worthless. I got to tell a story really quick. I was shooting a movie last year in West Virginia, and I'm working with this young actress. She had 2 scenes in the whole movie. They're both with me. My character goes into her diner. She's a waitress.
Mhm.
She's a senior in college right now at Virginia University. And I said, so what are you studying during the break, the lighting or whatever? And so
Yeah.
I'm majoring in gender studies.
Oh boy.
And I went, I thought she was joking. So I laughed. I don't know really what he's, and she goes, no, gender studies. And I went, what? I could have saved your parents $200,000, male, female. There you
Right.
go.
There you go. Right.
What these
Absolutely.
useless degrees? I said, you know what
Yeah.
job you're going to get? You're going to be serving Starbucks coffee at an airport somewhere. Because this is just, and shame on our parents for wasting money like that. What a stupid degree. I mean, it's just crazy that we go to college, get a real degree, go into
Right.
engineering, go into math, go into science, get a degree
Right.
that actually has a job in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I totally agree with you, brother.
I
Yeah.
got to show one
So
thing real quick. I forgot
sure.
to grab this. My latest book, I do a lot of work with Brave Books. Kurt Cameron and I
Right.
do a lot of
Oh
work
yeah.
with Brave Books. Go to
Right. Yeah.
bravebooks.com. It is June. It is Father's Day month, okay?
Oh
So
yes.
this is my
Yes.
latest book right here. It's called
Right.
Bare Essentials of Fatherhood, and it's out right now. You can pick
Okay.
it up. It just shows the strong things, the good
Right.
things that fathers do and can do for their
Right.
family.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I'll have the link to that in the notes with this episode. So to all our listeners, please go check that. Brave Books, awesome place. I love that. So I will have the link to that, to your book and Brave Books.
Are you ready to unlock the superpowers of homeschooling? Imagine a world where over 30 of the most inspiring and knowledgeable homeschooling experts come together to support you and your family's homeschooling journey. Mark your calendars, July 22nd through the 26th, and join us for an extraordinary event where over 30 speakers will share their wisdom, insights, and practical tips. These are the real heroes of homeschooling. They're all ready to tackle every topic and aspect that families experience on their homeschooling adventure. So, tell me, are you struggling with curriculum choices or feeling overwhelmed by balancing multiple ages and stages? Do you need some fresh ideas for hands-on learning or managing special needs? Well, we've got you covered. Sitting at home in the comfort of your bed or couch or wherever you listen to your podcasts, tune in and watch the engaging and interactive sessions filled with actionable advice and encouragement. Each day, you will be equipped with new strategies inspired by real-life success stories and supported by a community of like-minded families. This summit isn't just about education, it's about family. It's about strengthening relationships, fostering a love of learning, and empowering you to be the best homeschooling parent that you can be. So mark your calendars, July 22nd through the 26th, and join us for the Homeschooling Superheroes Summit and discover how these extraordinary speakers can help you transform your homeschooling journey into a superpowered success. Don't miss the opportunity to register. Register now at the link in our show notes at www.familydiscipleship.com/heroes and become a hero of your own homeschooling story.
Thank you very much. So maybe tell us a minute, take a few minutes. Maybe there was a time where you had to take a specific courageous stand as a father in the face of secular pressure or challenges or anything like that. So you have anything you could share about that?
I'm blessed from a strong mother and father.
Okay,
My
good.
parents, my father passed away 12 years ago. I miss him every day. He was the
Yeah,
best man at the wedding. He was a school teacher in the public school sector. And
yeah,
certainly when he was in school, when I was in school during those years in the 70s and going into the 80s, teachers actually taught me the things that they were being paid to teach. They weren't trying to tell me that boys can be girls and girls can be boys. They weren't telling me that God doesn't exist. They weren't telling me how to vote. They actually taught me the things that they were supposed to teach. And my
yeah.
father, I always said, I'm the fourth of five kids. I always said he ruled the family with strong thunder hands. I knew when my dad was angry at us or angry at me. And for the most part, he was right to be angry at me for me doing stupid things. But you know what? They were always there for us, always incredibly supportive. Gave us the time if we came in to talk to them. It wasn't like I'm too busy, come back to me later.
Right.
And I learned a lot from that. And my kids are awesome. They're now 22, 20, and 18, boy, girl. Great,
Yeah.
strong pillars of the community. I know when they do get married and have their own children, they're going to be strong parents. And it's been a crazy ride what the world is doing, but there's a lot of hope out there too. I think we're reaching a wonderful tipping point where people are finally standing up and they're kicking back at what Hollywood's doing. They're saying enough of this stuff. I love the fact that
Right.
this latest Star Wars one has got the lowest ratings ever. It's going to lose probably $200 million, and but they don't seem to care.
No.
The conspiracy theorist in me says Hollywood is being paid under the table from Washington D.C. with our tax
Yeah.
dollars to keep spreading this message. I don't
Oh yeah.
understand
Yeah.
spreading the insane messages we're spreading,
Yeah.
but they're doing it and they don't seem to be slowing down doing it. But more and more people are starting to wake up and fight back.
Yeah, yeah. Like again, kind of like you said with COVID and homeschooling, it's like yeah, people more and more people saw what was going on, and it's like kind of
Yeah,
a knee-jerk reaction, like whoa, what's happening here? So,
I would like my 4 million followers back from Facebook, but Zuckerman and his wussies and trolls that took me down for
yeah,
my misinformation and conspiracy theories about COVID. Of course,
yeah.
everything I said now has been proven true.
Oh yeah,
So my
yeah.
apologies, Zuckerberg, but I won't get it from that guy. He's a coward and hides behind his billions of dollars.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
all these billionaires, they all scream about how great socialism is, but they don't live that way, do they? And they
No,
got
they
how
don't.
they
No.
capitalism is how they got their wealth.
Yep,
So
exactly,
the
exactly.
hypocrisy
That could,
behind,
yeah, that could be a whole nother topic one day.
yes,
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, it's kind of like what I said with worldview. Atheists don't truly live that way most of the time. And in the real practical world, they couldn't. But yeah, that like I said, whole nother topic. So so you talked about your parents and your dad especially. So how it's obviously important for today's fathers to pass that vision on biblical manhood to their children, especially to their sons. But also to their daughters in relation to who they will marry, Lord willing, one day. So, what are some ways that you think it's important or practical tips for passing on that vision to the next generation?
I think this comes from they see how I behave and my wife behaves. They see the things
Yeah,
we talked about. If they do something wrong growing up, we would talk about what they did wrong, and we were there to
right.
really teach them. We read the Bible every single morning
That's
at
awesome.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Went through the entire Bible reading it. My daughter's actually reading through it a second time right now on her own. She has her
Right.
own Bible study class via the internet, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah, it
Um,
is.
yeah, and my two boys are very strong. Braden, my oldest, 22, he's running social media for people like Dinesh D'Souza and the Daily Wire and all these other places. I
Oh,
mean, he's a wonderful guy that believes in God, believes in the conservative values and the morals that made this country great. And I love the fact that they're very strong individuals at such a young age. And I know that's hats off to not only what I've been doing, but certainly my wife, who's
Yeah.
a lot tougher and stronger than I am.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful to see, see families like that. I always love to, see, that's carried on to the next generation. Because I always think it's like, if we just do it, one time, it's like it's kind of missed the point if it doesn't, keep on repeating itself. So that's always wonderful to see. I love that when, the kids and families are growing up and, repeating that the process that their parents, put them through. And
Well, there's
yeah,
a thing
it's
Governor Walker did out of Wisconsin. He's got a thing called the
yeah,
YF, Youth of Young American Foundation. And I've done a number of speaking events with him. One of the more recent ones I did was at the Reagan not the Reagan Library, at the Reagan Ranch, where Ronald actually did his work in between things and after he was president. And when you meet 800 to 1,000 of these kids, and they're conservative, they're Christian, and they're so, I mean, they're boom. They connect with you right to your eye. They're not afraid to talk
right.
to you, not afraid to show who they are. And that just gives me hope that there is a population in that under 30 category that is going to fight back. And thank God for people like that.
Yeah. Well, praise the Lord. So there is
Yeah.
a remnant, right? Yeah, it's always encouraging. So,
There's
so I guess,
a
yeah,
That's the right rainbow, but go ahead.
right. I love that. I love that. So, yeah. Well, I've loved, hearing some of your thoughts on this. So, I guess my final question for today, before we wrap up, is, what final word of advice or inspiration? I'm sure there's plenty of fathers out there, maybe even some listening to this now. They're like they see the vision, they see the message behind what you're saying, but they're just struggling to be strong, godly leaders in their home. So, what would you encourage them to do, or strive towards after hearing this?
Well, don't let anyone set your limitations, especially yourself. Do
Yeah.
not be afraid to get out there, and you're going to get canceled anyway. So who cares? Fight back. The
Right.
only person you're supposed to fear is not a government. The only person to fear is God. That happens to be in the Proverbs as well. And
Right.
we just cannot have what government's doing to us to hold us back. Because right now, our government is actually worse than the British monarchy was when we went to Revolutionary War. Our
Right.
own government treats us far worse than the British did. And we sit there and let it take it. Wake up. We got to wake up the sheep. The sheep are they just cower with fear. And the lions even hold back. Every movie I've been doing the last 6-7 years, if I get one, I get a dozen. People come up to me during the weeks we're filming, one by one, say, "Hey, thank you for being a voice for us." Well, be a voice for yourself. Stop being afraid.
Right.
They go, "Well, I'll get blacklisted like you." And I said, "I'm still making movies. Hollywood's not calling me to do big budget movies or TV shows anymore, but I'm still doing
Right.
movies that make a difference. Movies like God's Not Dead, What If, Let There Be Light, Soul Surfer. And I'm going to keep making those movies. And I got 2 coming out this year. I got the Reagan movie coming out. Dennis Quaid plays Reagan. I play his pastor in it. I got a wonderful movie called The Firing Squad, true story about an Indonesian prison where my character, true story, actually became on death row, became a pastor, saving many souls at prison before he was actually executed in 2015. We gotta not be afraid. Robert Frost is one of my favorite poets. Most people know the one he did, The Road Less Traveled. And Jesus was the one who was the road less traveled. There's no question. He was the original guy walking the road less traveled. I'll tell you what, I want to make the road less traveled into a super highway. I need your help to make that happen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, brother. I really, really appreciate your vision and your message. And yeah, to all of our listeners, I hope this conversation was a blessing to you today as much as it has been to me. I really enjoyed talking with you, Kevin. And and I will have the link to your book in the show notes with this episode. And so to our listeners, please feel free to check that out as well. And once again, Kevin, thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking your time, and thank you for I get what you're saying. We need to be the voice too, but thank you for being that voice and setting that example, and striving to be the salt and light in a secular world that's trying to cancel us out, right?
True. Once again,
So,
follow go to sorbostudios.com. Sorbostudios.com. A lot of good information.
Okay. Well, I'll have the link for that as well in the notes for this show. So, all right.
God bless your time. I appreciate it.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. And we'll have to have you back again sometime.
All right.
All
let's
right.
do it.
Yep.
It.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you for listening. And go ahead.
Just before Christmas, I got 2 documentaries coming out we can talk about.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Beautiful.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much again. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a blessed day. You've been been listening to the Family Discipleship Podcast, I truly hope that you've been blessed and encouraged by the things we've covered today. And I'd love to hear your feedback, questions, or even suggestions for a particular guest or topic that you would like to see featured on a future episode. Feel free to email host@familydiscipleshippodcast.net. And don't forget to follow the show on social media and subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss new episodes as they're released. I hope you'll be able to join us again next week, but in the meantime, I pray that the Lord will continue to bless your family as you endeavor to shepherd your children's hearts and cultivate your family's relationships with Jesus and with each other.